Hi everyone, we are back with more of Harry Potter and Education. And first up is Carmen Booker, who is going to talk to us about making Muggle magic digital literacy in the wizarding world.
Hi, good afternoon. Stick with me. I know I'm going up against the Umbridge presentation, which is like so cool. So my name is Carmen Booker. I teach at Miami-Dade College in Miami, Florida. So we're a 2-year institution. We have 150,000 students. We have 8 campuses across South Florida in Miami-Dade County, and we have a really diverse student population in a very big city. Our students are very diverse, and they come from different backgrounds, different experiences, and they're a very non-traditional student. Our average age of a student is 25, which is older than the typical freshman coming into a university. So we're working with students on how they come to us with an open door policy. So a lot of our work is working with students who also come to us underprepared. So how does this connect with Harry Potter? So one of the problems I discovered is, and many of us discover as a community college professor, is how do you reach students who take a literature class when they're non-English majors, right? The English majors, they'll sign up, they'll take World Lit, American Lit, they'll take it all, and my colleagues are like, I can fill a World Lit class with 15 students. I'm like, that's exciting. Now give me some non-majors, right? So I was looking at how our students are leery of the literature. They really feel like they don't have a connection to the canon of all the literature that we can teach. They don't want to take world literature. They're just trying to survive where they're going to get their next meal at sometimes in our institution. So how am I going to connect them to world literature, right? So, and they also don't have a strong foundation since they come to us underprepared, and they avoid reading. Just avoid it. They're like, I got through high school, I read, and I just don't want to do more. So the second part of the problem was, well, how do I get them to register? How do I get them to engage their digital world? Because they're Gen Zs, so they're coming to us with technology in their hands, smartphones. I think 99% of my students have a smartphone in their hand. So they've got something that they're doing. They're in the digital world. And I thought the second solution with digital piece had to be easy and had to be cool, right? I had to be cool too, because I don't think I'm cool. I think I'm a nerd. I tell them I'm a nerd, but they're like, whatever it is, it has to be cool. So in the spring semester, I was teaching this course at the institution called LIT 2480. It's called Issues in Literature and Culture. And my colleague here also teaches that class. We came together to the conference this year. And I was also doing research on reviving the children's literature in the catalog. I've always had a fondness for children's literature. I'd done a couple courses in graduate school on it, and I really fell in love with that aspect, that genre. And it's on our catalog, but nobody's taught it in like a century. So I thought, it's time to revive it. But I was also teaching this Issues in Literature course, and it was dying on the vine, right? The students were not interested. I was teaching presidential rhetoric and culture. It was not going well, right? So I had 15 students in that class who were dying, and at the same time I was doing this research, and I thought, there's got to be a better way, a better genre. And so I was tapped on the shoulder by the dean and said, hey, can you come to this training? I'm going to send you to Clemson University. We're doing an Adobe training, and you're part of the new digital literacy initiative on the campus. And I was like, what? Sure. The dean tapped me. She's like, free trip. Okay. So that's really what initiated this project and revamping my entire curriculum. So at this Adobe kind of mini conference, I learned all about this product called Spark. And with that, I thought, what could be cooler than doing some kind of children's literature piece? And Harry Potter came to mind. So I've been a fan of Harry Potter, read all the books. I made sure my son read all the books, didn't watch the movies first. I was a protege. So this is how this course was born, right? This is my own name for it, Harry Potter and Issues in Literature and Culture. So I thought, hey, maybe I could get non-English majors to sign up for this because they have a point of reference that in the material already. This is just a course description, right? It's kind of vague in a way, and it gives us a lot of room, this course description. So that's the great thing about this course. Between the competencies and the description, we have space to make it really what we want. And I just slid Harry Potter in there, and I took it to my chairperson and said, I'm doing this. And she's like, you do it. Good luck. She didn't know what I was talking about. She's like, I think my children read it. So I also, embarked on, how is this going to work, right? We remember the 4 C's of education, right? And I was thinking about this idea of connecting the digital literacy piece to it as well. And that's when, at that conference, I had this this idea. Let me get them to not just be in their own world as a consumer of media, but to be producing media. And that's what Spark does. This platform gives us a place where the students can merge both the literature and also merge their digital needs, right, that they can create. And I convince them that they can be creators of digital media. They're doing it anyway, but they usually use memes, right? That's what they're doing. I thought you could do more with this. So there's this great site called, and I'll show you I'll click on the link to it, and I'm using the software to do the presentation as well too. So this is the site. It's free to anybody who opens up an account, and it's called spark.adobe.com, and it's phenomenal. Now if I can go back, that would be great. There we go, and it's scrolled back up to the top. So I decided, in the training, one of the things they insisted was, well, I'm not in presentation mode. They insisted that this will take 5 minutes, that you could train your students in 5 minutes. And I thought, you guys are lying to me, because I don't believe anything. As an educator, I'm like, 5 minutes? Yeah, you're a tech guy training me, and you have not been in the classroom. I'm working with underprepared students. I'm working with students who are coming from different age groups. And I'm like, you know. So I told them I'm going to do it in 15. So I did literally, I take the students to the website, I do 15 minutes of classroom instruction where I show them a Spark page that I've created, which is actually the instructions for their first assignment. So they're already like, okay. And I don't tell them too much. I just go, hey, for homework, go create a login and make this happen. And that's it. And I let them go. And I said, you're going to figure it out, because the platform is very intuitive. It's user-friendly, and they can figure things out, like how to create buttons and how to import pictures. They can import YouTube videos. They can import their own pictures as well, too. There's also stock images that Adobe provides for free, which is really nice because they're high-quality images. And so what I did, I decided I was going to teach books 1 through 3 in a 6-week course in the summer, because I promised my dean I would. She's like, how are you going to be part of this digital initiative on campus? I'm like, I'm going to do this in 6 weeks. I'd never done this. So I was like, what am I thinking, right? I can't believe I promised this. But that first 6-week course produced some really incredible things. These are actual student creations in Spark. So these students then, we're going through all the theory, we're going through all the analysis of the books, and the first prompt is, can you tell me about the issues in culture? We go over J.K. Rowling's biography, we go over her background, we go over, I give them journal articles, they got a lot to do. And then we talk about some of the issues, like what are some of the things? So this is a student named Eddie Marr, who was a wonderful student, and she put this together in a weekend with text, images, explaining how some of the issues in the culture and some of the things, the impacts of Harry Potter in our culture. That's just one example. So let's talk about Another one. So that's the Harry Potter phenomenon. Then for their second journal, I have them write an article for the Daily Prophet. So I told them, okay, now you're going to be the newspaper reporter, and you're going to write an article for the Daily Prophet, and it's going to blow my mind away. I told them just like that, you're going to make it amazing. And they're like, uh-huh. And I said, yes, it's going to be great. And you need to pick anything from any of the books that we're doing. You can pick any event in the book, and you write it as if you're reporting it. So we talk about what newspaper reporting is, how maybe create a couple little lines. I give them some trouble, and then they are off, and they write these newspaper articles, which I told them they had to include pictures as well. They could include videos, and so they write these articles. They include, details, facts, events, and it just shows me, one, that they've read, right? And I told them you have to include events that are not in the movies. Like I try to really like if you pick something that's in the movie, I'm going to take off points. So they did it. I couldn't believe it that they did these amazing things in 6 weeks. So that was the experimental course. And then I thought, all right, I'm going to try this again. I'll do this in fall, and this is the big semester. In the summer, I thought, okay, maybe it was just a fluke, and I just happened to get some good students, and they were really into it. And I have some pictures of that first class at the end of this presentation, and they were really into it. I divide them into their Hogwarts houses. They have to go on Pottermore, and they compete for points, and those points convert to extra credit. And I'll also give you a little bit of analysis. So I do it again in the fall, and students do it again. I'll show you something else. This is, I give them one with chocolate frogs. This is character analysis. They have to find chocolate, they get a template. I give them a few, and then they have to insert the picture and then write about it. Write about that character. And I was like, okay, they took it to the next level in this next group. They really brought their game. And so they did this. I did a few extra, I think I only did 4 journals both times, thinking 4 is enough, maybe it's too much. Now they're doing 6. I've pushed the barrier even more this semester. So here they are doing these journals and working hard at it. So what did these students think of this? So what did the students say to me afterwards? Well, I thought, I'm gonna have to get some results, like something. So I sent them a little survey at the end of the semester, and I asked them what their feedback was on the course, what their feedback was on Spark, what their feedback was on the assignments. I figured I have a captive audience. I told them if I get 100% response back on the survey, then I give everybody like an extra grade. So I got 100% response back. I was like, I'll just give you an extra quiz grade, and then you can just like have that. And they're like, so they all turned to their people and were like, you're gonna do the survey right now. You're gonna do it because I want that quiz grade. And so this is their responses. I was really stunned how much they liked the Spark product. They told me it was easy to use, easy to figure out, and that, as the second one put, that she just liked that she was able to integrate the literature with something in media, with this digital literacy piece. I had a student in there who I had formerly before in a writing composition course who is not a reader. And he goes, I can't believe you got me to read 3 books in 6 weeks, and I wrote about it all the time. And then I did a research paper, I can't believe it. He goes, now I have to finish the rest of the books. And I'm like, score. I'm like, that to me was perfect. How did this contribute to their learning? Well, in the 6-week course, they told me that it was a little bit all over the board. I'm like, okay, it was 6 weeks. It was my first trial. It was like a pilot. I told the dean, this is a pilot. This may flame and go down in flames, and then I may never do this again. But I really wanted it to succeed. So what I really looked at is that purple bar that's excellent on the right, and how their contribution to their own skill and knowledge. how they started the course and how they ended the course. So we went from less, from the blue shrinking down to they're moving up. And so I was like, okay, this is only a small snippet from another survey who also told me that it also improved their knowledge at the end of the semester and that they enjoyed the digital piece. So this is a picture of my students at the end of the semester. They were really enthralled. They got into it. One of the components of the course as well too is that they had to do speeches in class because there's an oral component in those competencies. And so they had to do speeches, and they're doing it by their Hogwarts houses, and then they all do individual speeches. So they have to do at least 2. Many of the students use the Spark product to present their information. I didn't ask them to. They just came in with it and were like, here, I did my presentation, I'm gonna do my speech, and I'm gonna use a Spark product. And I went, okay, this is gonna work. And so that's what we did. They ended up wearing matching shirts for their presentations, and I was thrilled. So that is kind of the end of my presentation. Thank you so much.